What's going on, everybody? We're back for the week 3 edition, week 13 edition of the College Football Playoff Ranking Show. Currently about 40 seconds remaining in the cheek clapping that's going on in Madison Square Garden right now. Michigan State, 83-63 over Kentucky. So good for Izzo and the boys. And they're going to kick it to Reese Davis pretty quickly here. But just to kick us off, what we think the committee is going to do tonight. We think Ohio State, Indiana, A&M are going to be 1, 2, and 3. We think Georgia, Texas Tech are going to move up to 4 and 5. We think Ole Miss is going to be 6. 7 through 10 could be interesting. We got Oregon, Oklahoma, Alabama, Notre Dame.
I think that's where the most drama. I think that's where the most drama is. By the way,
Yeah.
that group
Oklahoma,
right there.
Alabama, Notre Dame. We'll see what they do with them, considering what the AP did yesterday. We think BYU is going to be 11, Utah 12, so they're just knocking on the door right there. Miami at 13. I think they're going to be inching them ever so closer to the top 10. They're going to have them as the 11th seed, even though they're not going to be able to make the ACC championship game if Georgia Tech wins. We think Georgia Tech will be 16. And then Vandy at 14, USC at 15. G5, we don't agree with it, but I think they're probably going to have JMU as the highest ranked G5 team. So,
well, according to John Summerall, his team's not any good.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw the interview with that.
That's a classic Pat Narduzzi move right there.
It is, man. But yeah, I think you're right. It may be JMU. I think you and I both agree that it should be Tulane, right?
Yeah, I think we should. We think Tulane. I mean, I don't think
the committee we would have Tulane.
If I was on the committee, I wouldn't have a G5 team in at all.
Yeah, so, I know we might have lost some people listening, but like we're going to be honest and be upfront. And yeah, I don't disagree. Like Boise last year was good enough, absolutely, to be a college football playoff team. But right now, I don't see a G5 team that is that should get in over like a 10-2 SEC or Big Ten team or a one loss. They're like think of 10-2 Utah if they don't get in, and like a 3-loss American Conference team gets in. Or something.
Yeah.
That would I'm just throwing out random scenarios, but
yeah,
that'd be tough, man. That'd be tough.
So Oklahoma, Alabama, Notre Dame, that's kind of what everyone's looking at. And then, we'll just kind of give your reactions, and we'll kind of go through some playoff scenarios too, kind of conference championship scenarios, what we're looking at here. It's going to be interesting, man.
What about the ACC? Because again, that's the most drama I think right now overall. With far as like as many teams that could get in the championship game. Like I know the easiest scenario is Georgia Tech wins this week. They're in the ACC championship game. If they beat Pitt, they're in the ACC title game. And I was listening to old Andy and Ari, their show from the other day, and they were talking about the ACC scenarios. And of course, they were still beating the drum for Miami to get in. And I understand we'll talk about that more here in a minute, but about how Miami could still get in the ACC championship game and scenarios that they need for that to happen.
Yeah.
Just crazy, man. All the stuff that still can happen in any of these conferences.
Yeah. Reed chimed in on X and he said North Texas is going to go 12-1 and beat Tulane in the American Championship.
I'd be okay with that, bro. Didn't you stand up? Let's go. Kelly Green. Come on now. I'm good with that. Like North Texas is a great story. I know probably some people are hated what you said earlier, and then I backed you up on it, but that's fine. But dude, I love watching that North Texas team play. And unfortunately for North Texas and for our boy Reed there that just commented, I'm gonna say something else he's probably not going to love, but their coach is probably about to be a coach at a P4 program, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But look, if you're I've got family that are diehard like Memphis fans and Memphis grads. If you are a very successful G5 program, like honestly, you should want your coach to be getting looks and to be getting poached out of the G5. Because what does that mean? That's happening. That means your team's really freaking good and you're one of the best teams in the G5. Is what that means. And you just got to hope you have a good AD and a good plan of replacing them. And finding another Eric Morris, a guy like that to come in and be your coach at North Texas. But yeah, they're an exciting bunch to watch, no doubt.
All right, so we got a commercial break. We got at least 3 minutes here. SEC playoff scenarios, conference championship scenarios. Texas A&M win, you're in. Alabama needs to win. They need Tennessee and Vandy both to win this weekend. If for some reason the two underdogs there, Florida beats Tennessee and Kentucky beats Vandy, then Alabama would still need to win, beat Auburn, and get some help, or else Georgia would be in the conference championship game. So, and Ole Miss, I don't think they still have a chance because of that tiebreaker, and I don't think they would win any sort of three-way 7-1 tiebreakers there. So,
Yeah,
it's A&M versus Georgia or Alabama.
yeah, Ole Miss is one. Again, they're a playoff team. They're one of the 10 best teams in college football. But it's also true at the same time they did have a little bit of a weaker conference schedule compared to others, which is why, like you just said, in that tiebreaker scenario, they wouldn't get in the SEC championship game. But like we've talked about many times, that there. I mean, dude, Lane said it last year. Kiffin said it last year. That I mean, you at this point, like what? Unless you're going to get like the number one or number two, even like number one overall seed, like being placed, like if I play in the SEC championship game and it only moves me up one spot or something, like I don't know if that like think about Georgia last year. They lost their starting quarterback. Now I know everybody
Yeah.
can make jokes about Carson Beck or whatever all they want, but like think if Georgia went out there this year and lost Gunnar Stockton, how big of a deal that would be. Think if Alabama went out there and lost Ty Simpson, how big of a deal that would be. Texas A&M losing their QB, losing Marcel Reed, how big of a deal that would be. Indiana losing Fernando Mendoza. We can go, we can keep playing this game. Julian saying Ohio State, like that is, we saw literally a team lose their starting quarterback last year in one of those conference championship games. So there are things that can happen, but the competitor in these folks, I'm sure they want to go win a conference championship. Us as fans, we want to see the best teams play
Yeah.
and match up against each other. So, what I'm putting you on the spot here, and I understand if you don't know because I have no clue. What would happen if Tennessee beats? Like, what if one of those like they
Nope,
split?
gotta have both of them win. Both of them have to win in order for Alabama to get knocked. So, Florida has to win and Kentucky has to win.
Okay, and what? But like, if
If
Tennessee,
Tennessee wins and Kentucky wins, then
and
they're
that's a scenario that I was actually going to add, like that one. If Tennessee
gotta
wins,
have
then
both of them win for Georgia to have a shot.
okay, okay.
Yep.
So if they split, it's basically it's more than likely if Bama wins out, they're going to be in the SEC championship game.
Yep.
Okay. Uh,
Big
I've
12,
already
it's kind of simple. I mean, Texas Tech has got the open road to the Big 12 championship. BYU is, I mean, they win out. They're going to have a rematch. Arizona State actually still has a shot. And this news came out today about Sam Levitt, which is interesting. So if
yep.
Cincinnati were to beat BYU this week, Arizona State would have a shot. If there's a
Utah's still
three-way,
in the thick of it too, right?
yeah, and the scenarios I was coming up with, I didn't find anything for Utah. It was not coming up in their favor.
Really?
So yeah.
So
So that'll be
if time out,
interesting.
if BYU loses to Cincy, they would have 2 losses. They would have 2 conference losses. Cincy would still only have 2 conference losses, right?
Mm,
They lost to Utah and they lost to Arizona. Yeah, that's it.
mhm.
They would have 2
Yep,
conference losses. Arizona State would have 2 conference losses. Utah would have 2 conference losses. That's 4. Those 4, right?
yeah. Stuff I
Okay.
popped up, it was giving Arizona State the nod.
God, and Utah. Well, again, I guess it doesn't matter what they did in that scenario. It's not really it didn't happen. I mean, the tiebreaker's not head to head. I'm just thinking in my head about what a beatdown that was that night
Yeah,
with Jeff Sims at quarterback for Arizona State. But yeah,
yep,
that you're right. That doesn't matter really. Stupid. It sounds stupid to say that, but in a 4-way tie, you're not looking at a head to head anymore.
right.
You're looking at that strength of conference record or whatever. And Arizona State played Utah. They played Texas Tech. But so did
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure that out. But yeah, that's interesting because I was thinking in my head that Utah would definitely be
no,
because Utah played a tough conference schedule.
yep. Big Ten, pretty simple. Indiana, Ohio State went out. They're in it, but Michigan, USC, Oregon all still have a chance to play
Yep.
Indiana in that championship game. And then ACC, if Georgia Tech beats Pitt this week, they're in it. And then more than likely, it just kind of maybe comes down to Virginia. So I think if
And
they get ready to,
Virginia's only got Virginia Tech left, right, in the
mhm,
ACC.
yeah, they got to buy this week. unless they play somebody out of conference. But I think they got to buy. So,
Yeah.
All right, they're getting ready to.
Here we
Wow, they
go.
just went straight 25-21. So Arizona State is back in there. All these teams were not in the top 25 for the committee last week. And there's Tulane at
Hey, there's the
24.
G5 team. There's Tulane.
So we were wrong on the JMU unless they're at 20th, but I'm pretty sure the
We
Tulane's right
we
there.
said that we would put in Tulane. We
Yeah.
just thought the committee would put in JMU. We had Tulane as our group of 5 representative.
Finally, some respect for Illinois, right? And at 21. You got Tennessee there, Virginia, Michigan, Texas. That's about, I think I had Texas at 17 in my poll, right behind Georgia Tech.
So Tennessee 20, Virginia 19, Michigan 18, and still Michigan's just not moving up. And again, understand why. I've been the close game that this had against Northwestern, but
Yeah,
seems like every week
they had 5 turnovers in that game to 0.
Yeah. Golly. Yeah. Texas at 17, they dropped 7 spots.
Yeah, that's if they beat A&M.
I don't see it.
I mean, they'd have to get up they'd have to jump another 7 spots. A lot of stuff would have to happen.
Don't see it, man. Don't see it happen at this point. That was actually one of the things I was looking to see. I was curious if they were going to have Texas around 15. If they were just still sitting around 15, there would be a shot for that 3-loss bunch to get in. But yeah, that was a beat down to the Dogs, man. I mean, 21 zip in the fourth quarter. So USC slots in at 15. We have them at 12, right? In our rankings?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have them at 12.
But they jumped Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
They should. Again, we love Brent Key and the Jackets, like love them. But at this point, yeah, I mean, USC should. Vandy's at 14.
They didn't move. So we thought they would. That's exactly what we thought. We thought Georgia Tech would be 16, USC 15, Vandy 14. So we're right on.
Yep.
There's Miami hopping up 2 spots. They're inching closer and closer to that top 10.
And dude, Andy and Ari, I'm going to bring this up here in a minute, man, with Miami. Remind me on this. This is like they're talking about Miami right now. So let's just do it right now. Andy and Ari, bro, were talking about on their show that was one of the main things they were intrigued to see, because Ari is of the belief that at the end of all of this, if Miami's sitting there 10-2 and Notre Dame's sitting there 10-2, and they're only 1 spot away from each other to get into the college football playoff, he's like, there is no way that they're going to have Notre Dame 1 spot ahead of Miami to get into the playoff. There's no way. And of course, in my mind, I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, of course, it'll depend on what they do that final week at Pitt.
Yeah. Yep. Utah's at 12.
So we called that one probably BYU here. Yep.
Dang, man, Miami at 13. I did that. That got me excited just for all the scenarios that we could possibly see here down the stretch and the drama that we could see. All right, BYU at 11. We had the Cougs at 11 too, didn't we?
Yep.
Let's go.
This is exactly how we thought they would do it. So we'll see who Notre Dame's 10 here. We kind of know. Oh,
wow. Alabama's at 10. Dropped 6 spots? Okay.
I told you there's a possibility they could sandwich Notre Dame right in between those. So, yeah, I mean, we got a lot to talk about.
Man, I'm not going to turn the volume up, but I'm going to watch the replay of this. I'm curious what they're talking about with that.
Yeah, we'll cover this when all the rankings are finally unveiled.
Yeah. I don't think that should have happened.
I'm guessing Notre Dame. So this is where first thing we got wrong. We thought they would.
Yep. Well, okay. Well, squash everything I just said in regards to Miami being at third. I mean, Notre Dame's still 4 spots ahead. I don't see Miami making up that much ground for a team that, I mean, Notre Dame just absolutely wore Pitt's ass out this past weekend. I mean, what can Miami do to make up 4 spots on that?
Yeah.
So, and as far as Alabama's concerned, what is a win in the? I mean, they would have to win the SEC championship to move up like much further.
Or Notre Dame would have to look poor against Syracuse and Stanford.
Yeah. Oklahoma 8.
So they're in good shape.
Yeah, Oregon, Ole Miss, and Texas Tech are coming up here. Just a matter of what order that they're in. You think Oregon 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Oregon 7, Ole Miss 6, Texas Tech 5.
Okay. Boomer moved up 3 spots with that. I just can't believe Alabama dropped 6.
They did. I mean, they mirrored the AP poll, which everybody hates.
I mean, bro, they dropped 6. Okay, well, I'll wait. Oregon 7. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's gonna be Ole Miss. Do you think, real quick before it gets there, do you think they keep the 3? You think they keep it Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, A&M 3?
Yeah, just nice and clean.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing really
I
that
mean,
happened this.
honestly, I mean, I've seen some polls out there have Georgia at 3 and A&M at 4, which is crazy.
I saw that too.
But
I saw that too. I mean, the Dogs are hot right now. They look like one of
yeah,
the better teams in the country. But yeah, resume wise, at this moment, like you can't drop A&M. I don't. I mean, I know they just had a close game against South
yeah, you
Carolina.
can't. When Georgia's only loss is now ranked 10th and dropped 6 spots.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yep. Old Lane Train and the look at Guns Up at top 5.
they're just knocking on the door, waiting for someone to lose.
Yep.
Waiting for someone to lose, win the Big 12, get that
Hey,
bye.
hey,
No,
man.
no
All the
game in
hey,
Lubbock, but you know,
hey, all Guns Up and our boy Josh Abbott's boys have to do. All they got to do is go on the road in Morgantown, the country roads. Take me home
yep,
and beat West Virginia on the road.
seems easy.
I can't believe that we talked about that before the season. That would be could end up being a like Texas Tech would be sitting there squarely in the playoff, and that last game of the year could be interesting on the road at West Virginia. And here we are. There's Georgia at 4, so they did not move them up like you said, like some polls had.
Mhm.
A&M 3, yeah, it's going to be Indiana 2, Ohio State 1. There's Indiana 2, Ohio State will be 1. So really, man, though, I mean, to me, the biggest surprise is I'm not going to say huge. It shouldn't be a surprise that Miami was moved up like that, but I was surprised to see the committee move them up that far. And yeah, I didn't think Alabama should have dropped back to 10, 6 spots. I just didn't. Just don't.
Yeah, I'll be the first. Oh, here we go. Here's a bracket. Tulane, Texas Tech. That's what we had. We had Notre Dame, Oklahoma in 10-7, but they got them in 9-8.
Yep.
Alabama going on the road to play Eugene.
Yep.
And then Miami at Ole Miss. So we knew that obviously they'd have Miami there when we would have Georgia Tech. So we pretty much nailed the bracket. 1, 2, 3,
Is that
4.
a dream matchup, you think? You know, a lot of people forever wanted to see Oregon and Alabama match up. Like during the Chip Kelly
Yeah.
era when Saban was there,
Yeah.
like it was so many times that like just the contrast of styles and stuff back then, everybody wanted to see it, and like we just never got to see it.
Honestly,
Now it would
man,
be
as
Dan
a fan,
Lanning and Kalen DeBoer.
yeah, as a fan
Yeah.
of college football, I would much rather see Miami play Ole Miss than Georgia Tech right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love Brent Key and the Jackets, and I know you do too. You picked them for preseason.
Yeah.
Preseason, you picked Georgia Tech.
I'm willing to
win.
forgo my preseason pick for the good of the sport.
You picked them to win the ACC, right?
I picked them to win the ACC before the
Yeah.
season. I mean, a lot of people did, but you know, I'll just say I was first. Why not?
Well, there you go. Maybe everybody followed yours. But yeah, you had Georgia Tech and our boys at 6-pack, Georgia Tech,
Yeah.
going to winning the ACC and going to the playoffs. So, but I'm with you. Like I'd love to see Miami versus Ole Miss in that scenario. I mean, honestly, the bracket that they got right there looks really good, bro. Those matchups, Notre Dame on the road at Oklahoma, like in Norman, that'd be a sick matchup. Miami and Ole Miss would be a great matchup.
Our guys at 3 Tech, I mean, they called it. I didn't read their reasoning, but they called Notre Dame over Bama in their bracket predictions. So props to them. I don't think I you know me, I've done my deep dive into some strength of schedules and metrics and power ratings and all that. Dude, I mean, Alabama should be ahead of Notre Dame. Point blank.
Yeah,
They should be ahead of Notre Dame.
I hope the Rip and Sigs boys are listening to this and heard you say that.
Yeah, I mean, they should.
I don't mean to like come right back at you here, like and love on your team, but I already said it. Like I said it on the last episode. Resume wise, right now, Alabama, yes, I agree with you. Alabama should be ahead, resume wise. But what my eyeballs show me when I watch these teams play football right now,
Yeah,
Notre Dame looks like one of the best teams in college football.
yeah, I hear you.
And they look like one of the 2 or 3 best. They're then right now, when I watch teams play, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame look like the three best teams in college football the last few weeks when you watch them play like with your own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, yes, Texas A&M, Indiana, these, the Texas Tech, whatever, the Alabamas, Oklahomas, like any of these teams too. There's not huge separation between a lot of these teams, no doubt. But yeah, dude, I mean, if you're just I don't know what this commissioner guy is saying. Who is this, by the way? Who's the new guy?
Hunter Yurchek from Arkansas.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mac
didn't know.
Rhodes is going through a little bit of a scandal there down at Baylor.
Yeah, I thought it was the guy from Utah.
I thought they just said at the top there, Hunter Yurchek.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yep, CFP committee chair, Hunter Yurchek. Yep, you're right. All right. So really, the only big surprise was to us anyway, was how they ordered Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama. We thought it would be Oklahoma 8, Alabama 9, Notre Dame 10.
Yeah.
And the only way that Alabama can move up at this point would be if they win the SEC championship. Do you agree with that? Like just beating Auburn and then going if they beat Auburn, and then like you said, if Tennessee wins and Vandy, yeah, Tennessee and
Florida and Kentucky have to win.
Yeah. So I mean, Alabama would have to win the SEC championship really to move up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But they're talking about it right now. Like what I was going to say dude, they lost by 2 points to the. It's not like they got their cheeks clapped.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. They doubled them up in yardage and lost the turnover battle by 3 and only lost by 2 points, and they moved down all these spots. That's strange. All right, we're getting some notifications here. Who we got? Oh, I see here we got either a retweet or a like from our boy Moose.
Love me some Moose.
Moose, if you can hear us. Love you, brother. All right. So as far as that bracket is concerned, I think all college football fans, unless you obviously if you're a Georgia Tech fan or if you're a fan of any of those teams in the ACC that's not Miami, yes, you would be sad that your team's not in it. Oh, if you're a fan of whatever team that's, on the outside looking in and they don't get in, yes, you're obviously sad. But like overall, from just being a fan of college football, like we are, that bracket that they showed up would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
So sick if that would be the case. So the winner of Notre Dame, Oklahoma would get the Buckeyes, correct?
The winner of Notre Dame, Oklahoma gets the Buckeyes. Yep.
And that would probably be the Rose Bowl, right?
I'm gonna pull up some images here. One of them's from our
production folks.
Yeah. All right, let's. Shoot.
Your boy Joey Galloway is one of the main 3 people on here.
Love him. Love Joey Galloway. He's a genius.
Yeah, who did he say? Who did he say was trying to lose this past week?
He said Texas A&M doesn't look like they wanted to play in the SEC championship game.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So 5 new teams. 2 from the Big 12, which I don't know if it matters. Missouri's in there. Illinois, we've been talking about them for quite some time.
How funny, dude, real quick, how funny is it they mistakenly did not have them ranked, and then all of a sudden they just jump them to 21 like that. This is wild. But yeah, they absolutely should have been ranked. If you look at who they've played, poor Illinois, bro. The teams that they've had to play. And the schedule they've had to
5 brand
play.
new teams.
Yeah.
So then Tennessee is still in there. Texas is now your best 3-loss team, but I think we could get to the point in the season now where we can kind of stop talking about the 3-loss teams because Texas is all the way down here at 17.
They're not yet. They would have to have absolute.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be beyond chaos. Like, it's just almost not possible at this point.
And I'm kind of, I mean, looking at their 2 records, 9-1, 7-3, and what they did last year with given the SEC getting those mulligans and everything, I'm not shocked they're behind. I mean, if you had them ahead of Georgia Tech as 9-1. People would flip out probably. So I understand that.
All right. I was hoping you would ask me the question, but I'll ask you and then we can both comment on it because we talk about this a ton in the off season. We talk about it to each other a lot, just as friends off the podcast. What are your thoughts on the tweet that was at 8 zillion views and all the likes and the comments about Texas should have just not played Ohio State this year. And if they don't play Ohio State and they showed Texas's future non-conference schedule, and I know the people listening right now, that we can all agree, yes, we don't want to see the last thing I want to see as a fan of this sport is any of these teams canceling any big non-conference games. Feed me every big non-conference game. I don't want any of these teams to play scrubs. Like, as a fan, I want to see as many great matchups as possible. But, like, I mean, dude, where would Texas be right now if they would have played Oklahoma State week 1 instead of
Or
Ohio
Texas
State?
State.
Yeah. But, like, let's just say let's just say a P4 program. Like Vandy, for example, they played Virginia Tech. Oregon played Oklahoma State. Like, you had some teams that played P4 programs non-conference. Tennessee played Syracuse. They played the Qs. It's like, what if Texas lines up against Virginia Tech week 1, or they play Syracuse week 1, whatever? They'd be sitting here 8-2, and they'd had wins over Vandy and wins over Oklahoma, and they'd be probably ranked, bro, in the top 10, 11 at the worst. Right? They for damn sure wouldn't be 17.
No, probably not. Because I mean, because they started off number 1.
Right. Well, that's true. But, like,
You
I
don't
don't
you
know
don't
that
do
they
preseason rankings and you watch what Texas has been on the field so far this year. There's no way you're thinking like they're a top 10 team, even if they're 8-2.
Right, but I mean, do you think that them being preseason number 1 in the AP poll matters in November to the committee when they first start these rankings? I don't think so.
Yeah,
You
they're
do?
human. Yeah, they're human.
Okay.
Yeah,
I disagree.
everybody's got a perception in their minds.
Yeah, I disagree
Except
with
for
that.
Stark,
I
apparently.
think
'Cause
when we're
Stark
9 or
Stark got
10.
asked about it, and he was like, "Who had expectations?" And they're like, "Everybody. You were ranked number 1." He's like, "Well, that's their fault for ranking us number 1." But no, I'm with you. I mean, I think it is, yeah. If they would have played Texas State or Oklahoma State, whatever, for instead of Ohio State, they'd be 8-2. They'd probably be ranked higher. But
And Ohio State, where would they be ranked if they didn't beat Texas? Like, at worst, 2?
yeah, they would still be in the top 3.
Right. And if they win the Big Ten championship, just like they need to do now, like, their fate would not be any different. It just sucks, man. I mean, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to it. I really don't. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
but, like,
I
they're
don't,
not the people. It's not wrong. It's not wrong what that Texas account tweeted today. But we can all sit around and from our high horse and say that's soft, and you shouldn't want to do that. Like, okay, yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll call it soft, but it's not wrong. They're not lying.
Yeah, I think the problem everyone has is you're not rewarding teams for winning those games. Like
Yeah,
Miami's
like
obvi-
like
Miami's
A&M. A&M would
Miami's
be
not
ranked.
being rewarded for beating Notre Dame, clearly, right?
Yeah, A&M would still be ranked 3rd if they would have played Indiana State out of the state of Indiana instead of Notre Dame. Texas A&M would still be 3rd. Miami beat Notre Dame, and they're still ranked wherever they're at. Like, what? I know that the ACC scheduled that for Miami, but still, it is a non-conference game. And if Miami would have played somebody else and not have that loss, Miami would be ranked higher.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
don't
Miami won that game.
know.
I don't know. I don't know the answer, dude.
I don't know how you quantify it necessarily. Like I don't know the answer. Just like you, I don't know how. y- You know, I don't
Like, the
know.
game happened with Texas and Ohio State. Like, it happened. They lost.
Mhm.
So, like, I don't know if you can just sit there and say, like, well, if you play those games and you lose, it doesn't, like Reese Davis keeps using the phrase, like, the committee now is like, when you, and McElroy said this 1,000 times, when you lose against really good teams in a competitive game, it doesn't dock you as much as it used to. It's not supposed to dock you as much as it used to. When you play those competitive games and you win them, it's supposed to reward you a lot more than it used to with these new record strength metrics and all these stuff that they look at. But again, I don't know
But
what to
also,
tell you when we can look up and down these rankings, bro, and all these great non-conference games. It didn't mean anything for Miami to beat Notre Dame at this point. It's not meant anything. It hurt Texas dramatically to lose to Ohio State week 1 instead of playing some scrub. That hasn't really done anything for Ohio State. They're in the same spot they'd be in. Texas A&M's in the same spot they'd be in. It just
Isn't this the same thing? I mean, close to the same thing as Ole Miss last year.
Ole Miss last year. Who did?
Yeah, I mean they lost to Kentucky.
Yeah,
Texas
you,
lost to Florida.
yeah, they did. And again, I'm not. They should not have lost. To
If you
Florida.
look,
Absolutely.
I mean, they're
But if they-
7. I mean, they have a 2-game record difference, and they're only 1 spot behind a 9-win team. So to some extent, people are going to say, yeah, they are getting credit for going and playing Ohio State.
Oh, they are. I mean, I look. I think this is a situation where both things can be true. Just like last year, for people saying that the strength of schedule didn't matter with Alabama and SMU, you made a great point. And some others that brought it up first made a great point. That like Alabama would not even have been in the discussion to get into the playoff last year if it weren't for their strength of schedule. The only reason that they were even being considered as a 3-loss team for the college football playoff was because they were a 3-loss team. They didn't get in the college football playoff last year because they got their absolute ass kicked 24-3 by a 6-loss Oklahoma team in the end of November. That's why they didn't get in. But like, I agree. Like, I think 2 things can be true with this. Texas is a 3-loss team and they're ranked where they are right behind a 1-loss team because they do have a good strength of schedule. But they're also ranked 17th because they have 3 losses. They'd be ranked much higher if they had 2 losses instead. I just wanted to touch on that. I think that is something very important that a lot of people love to talk about and want to debate about going forth. I can't believe Georgia Tech is 9-1 and ranked 16th. In the billion 2, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, debate. Daniel. Like, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Thanks for the comment there. I want to first say again, I don't know if you just started tuning in. Tyler here picked preseason. There's graphics out on our social medias and everything to back it up. He picked Georgia Tech to win the ACC preseason and to make the college football playoff. We are known Brent Key respecters. Love Brent Key. Love us some Haynes King. Big fans of the Jackets and what they're doing. But when you really look at overall their strength of schedule and look at how they're struggling with, like, they just played Boston College. Boston College they're not even booty. They're cheeks. Cheeks is worse than booty. That's how bad Boston College is. And they're struggling with Boston College. They're struggling with like some really lower level tiered ACC teams that just aren't good. And that's probably why that they're at this point. He also said Michigan should be lower. I mean, you could make an argument with that. You could. I mean, yeah, you can make an argument with that. All right, here's 15 through 11.
So you got 15 USC, Vanderbilt, Miami, Utah, BYU. So what this tells me, and this is a scenario I wanted to get into, was, and I talked to you about it, is the possibility is we could have 8 10-2 teams fighting for, actually, sorry, 9 10-2 teams fighting for 5 spots. You've got Michigan, USC, Oregon could finish 10-2 still. You've got Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Oklahoma. That's 6. Utah is 7. Miami and Notre Dame. And honestly, you could throw BYU in there. I'm just kind of looking at the records here. You could have a ton of 10-2 teams fighting for those spots. So right now, this is telling me Michigan, obviously they have to win out, but I mean, do you think they're going to jump all the way to the top 10 if they beat Ohio State?
Yes.
They're going to jump all these teams. USC, who would have a win over Oregon.
Oh, well, in that scenario, no.
Yeah.
Because
Vanderbilt would have a win. Vanderbilt would have a win at Tennessee.
Yeah, because USC bent Michigan over their knee in the Coliseum already.
Vanderbilt would win their finale in Knoxville at Tennessee.
Poor Vandy, bro. They're going to be the one in that scenario. They would be one of them on the outside looking in.
And then you'd already have Alabama up there. You'd have Notre Dame up there. You'd have Oklahoma, who beat Michigan.
Yeah.
So USC and Oklahoma be in front of Michigan. That's a lot. I mean, even for Michigan to beat Ohio State, I don't know if they would jump up into the top 10.
Probably not. Probably not. Now that you mentioned, probably not. They would jump some teams, and
Daniel says Michigan will not beat Ohio State. I'm sure he said that for the past 4 years.
correct. And we're not Buckeye fans. We're not Buckeye
Yeah.
fans, Daniel,
I've
and we're
said
not
that for
Michigan
the past
fans
4
either.
years. I'm not
Yeah,
falling for it again.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can say that at this point. They were 21.5-point underdogs last year and won against Ohio State. I mean, eventually Ohio State's going to beat them again. Yeah, but
got Twitter comments here. Andrew Koss says, eye test matters. Texas hasn't been good. If you aren't going to look good week in and week out, you better keep winning. He said USC and Michigan would jump Oregon in that scenario too.
oh yeah, USC would for sure jump Oregon. I agree with him on that because they beat them. And yeah, Michigan. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. So if USC beats Oregon, absolutely, he's right. Michigan and USC would jump Oregon because what is Oregon? We've talked
Sure.
about this for weeks. What is Oregon holding their hat on at that point?
Yeah.
A win against Washington, then a
Yeah,
win against
and win at Iowa.
a win against 4 or 5 loss Iowa.
Yeah.
A good win, yeah. But like, is that going to trump Michigan? Michigan also beat what would in that scenario beat Washington, and then Michigan beat the number 1 team in the country. They would have the best. They would have the best win or second best win in all of college football. So
yeah, so Michigan would
where
have
would
Michigan
get
and
interesting
USC.
for Michigan in that scenario, Tyler, would be if they. Well, I guess if USC beats Oregon, Michigan would not be going to the Big Ten championship. It'd be USC, right?
If USC wins out and
Yeah.
Michigan beats Ohio State, it's Indiana USC in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. So yeah, Michigan's not jumping. I mean, yeah, USC beat them head to head and would be in the Big Ten title. Whoo, that'd be wild, dude.
Well, and so you'd have Michigan and USC, and then Oklahoma, Alabama, and I guess Notre Dame.
I'd be nervous if I were you.
Yeah.
I know they're ahead of Alabama right now, but like, no way that. Let's see. Well, then you support Miami jumping Notre Dame because they beat them under the same scenario. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think
And
I don't think we ever disagreed with the head to head. We talk about obviously the full resume and look, I mean, like Andrew just said, looking good week in and week out.
Yep.
And for 2 straight months now, Notre Dame's done that. A lot of other teams have done that too.
Yep.
Miami has not done that the past month. Texas has not done that, So I mean, it's a whole compilation thing. That's why they call them data points, and they use specific data points. And this is just one data point, right? This is all we're going to talk about. It's not head to head is the number 1 criteria, but it's not the end all be all. If you can basically prove and say unequivocally that Team B, who lost to Team A, is better than Team A.
Yeah. Yeah. I've made it clear. If I'm a Miami fan, yeah, I'd be raging about it. And I think most would.
Yeah.
But at this point, I just don't know that Miami's going to be moving up much further. I really don't. Because again, the problem is what Notre Dame just did to Pitt. Okay, if Miami goes to Pitt and beats them 31-7, like, is that all of a sudden going to mean like the committee's all of a sudden just going to wake up the next day and be like, you know what, we should jump Miami up 5 more spots?
I mean, the committee's done that in the past. They've jumped teams from 6 to 3 on the final weekend when we had a 14 playoff.
Yeah, so. I mean, if you're a Miami fan right now, you need to be. I mean, because dude, again, I'm not trying to jinx it, but like it would be just cataclysmic if Notre Dame would lose to Syracuse or Stanford.
That's like
point.
The 4th time you've used cataclysmic in like the last 48 hours.
I really don't know why
you're so smart. Right up here, you're so smart.
I am, man. It's that great education. So Miami needs to be pulling their absolute butts off for Auburn to win in the Iron Bowl. Really, any do what?
Oklahoma to lose.
Yeah, Oklahoma to lose.
Oregon to lose these next 2 weeks.
Again, dude,
I would probably take. I would take a 10-2 Miami over 10-2 Oregon.
Yeah, I said I'll go to the mat. I'll go to the mat for Miami. I'll go to the mat for Miami against if 10-2. If Miami's 10-2 and Oregon's 10-2, I'll go to the mat for Miami on that one.
Here's what's funny. What's going to happen is we're going to spend how many months, 6 weeks arguing about Notre Dame versus Miami. And then all these stuff's going to happen. They're both going to make it in as at large teams.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably so. And
That'd be
we
a moot
showed the
point.
bracket. We showed the bracket earlier. Miami is an 11 seed. No matter who the 6 seed is, as a fan of the sport, I would love to see Miami as that 11 seed to see whoever the hell the 6 seed is. If it ends up being Ole Miss, if it ends up being someone else, seeing that Miami bunch in a playoff with the talent that they've got and the line of scrimmage play that they've got, and specifically certain players that they've got on both sides of the ball, be a lot of fun to see them against some different teams. Bama's 10th. Can't believe it. Lost to Oklahoma. Too much. I love it. Hey, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys listening in and on the comments.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
So we
All
talked
right.
about this. If you haven't tuned in, you weren't tuned in earlier. We talked about 8 through 10 there, and I'll be the first to say like there's no way in my mind that Alabama should be behind Notre Dame given the entire resume. And like you said, I mean, yes, I agree with you. Notre Dame has looked better on the field of play, and it's always been a long debate. Do we want the 12 best teams or we want the 12 best resumes? Like, nobody knows. There's criteria for every single thing. Nobody knows what they're doing, and they make it up on the fly. And we just kind of have to listen to what their reasoning is after they actually rank the teams. So
Yeah, it's like we want the 12 most deserving. Like, okay, well, what is that?
yeah,
How do you absolutely like differentiate that between conferences and teams and whatnot? This is why this sport's the most beautifully flawed sport in the world, man,
mhm,
because we're doing what we're doing right now,
yeah,
debating all these crazy different debates. But yeah, like Alabama lost by 2 points. They lost the turnover battle by a 3-0, outgained Oklahoma, doubled them up in yardage almost, and lost by 2 points, and they dropped 6 spots. You would have thought, like, by them dropping as much as they did, you would have thought they had just lost to somebody that's awful for
yeah,
them to drop 6 spots like that.
yeah,
And I don't get that. Don't understand that. Don't think that should have happened. I really don't.
yeah. And I wonder too. I mean, it's just not consistent. Like, clearly they're looking at week one, and it's almost like the Notre Dame Miami result isn't like a huge deal, but like also week one, maybe the Alabama Florida State result is a huge deal, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, I agree. Like, if that's what they want to say, sure. But like, it wasn't a huge deal before to them, like to that committee. They had Alabama ranked where they had them ranked at 4 to begin
they
with.
were the best one loss team, but now they're not the best two loss team,
Now they're the
you
third
know?
best 2-loss team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. That doesn't make any sense to me. If Alabama would have been at 6 or 7, and dropped 3 or 4 spots, sure, I understand. And if they would have been saying that Alabama is at 6 or 7 of these last 3 weeks because of that week 1 loss to trash Florida State, sure, all for it. But that they weren't. They, like you said, they were saying that Alabama was the best 1-loss team up to this point. And now they're saying they're the third best 2-loss team because of a 2-point loss to the team that they have right here at number 8. Uh,
But
let's
you think
let's
do you
let
think the fact they lost as home favorites matters to the committee at all?
by God, it shouldn't. That should not matter to them.
Or just a home loss in general?
It could. I mean, it could. Maybe I don't know. Like it could, but I mean, obviously because of again, like they're not going to rank them just like they don't have Miami sitting here at 10. Like the committee's not that stupid. They're not going to have the rankings and have Notre Dame and Miami 1 spot away from each other like that. They're just not going
Yeah.
to do that. Whether that's
Yeah.
right or wrong, that's not up for us to decide.
Yeah.
Uh, they're not going to have Oklahoma. I wouldn't have Alabama 1 spot ahead of Oklahoma. So we knew they were going to be behind Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I just thought they were going to be 1 spot behind.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Oklahoma really quick. Off the top of my head, I can't think of another team in college football that within this last month that has 2 more impressive wins. When you really, again, Tennessee was fighting for their lives at home, at night, in dark mode, in Knoxville. where they literally have only lost to one team over the last 3.5, 4 years, and that's to Georgia twice.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma went into Knoxville, multiple injuries, won that game. And then he went into Tuscaloosa, who had Alabama had the nation's longest home winning streak, with Alabama playing again. Win, and they know they're in the playoffs. Everything to play for, and Oklahoma goes into Tuscaloosa and wins that game.
And they got outplayed in both games.
They did. They did. They really did. They just,
Which, come playoff time, if it worries you a little bit for the Sooners if they don't create turnovers and win the turnover battle, what's that game going to be like,
right. But the other part of that is like, I mean, Mateer's getting healthier.
Yeah.
He is. They're going to get healthier on defense. They've got guys that are stepping up and making plays for them on defense so they're building depth defensively. Again, they brought in a new offensive coordinator in Arbuckle, and there's other guys on that offense that are running that system for the first time ever.
Yep.
So the more games that they play, the more they're likely they are to improve. And dude, we've talked about this. You look at these teams that are in this top 12, that Oklahoma defensive front is as dominant as any other position group that's out there. Obviously, the Ohio State wide receiver core is obviously up there.
Mm-hmm.
But that Oklahoma defensive front is nasty, bro. Like all the tackles for a loss and the sacks and everything else that they've got on the year. I mean, they can take over a game. They can wreck another team's offensive game plan in a hurry.
Yeah.
So if they can win these next two games, because I would say that they've got one of the tougher like two games. They got two I know Mizzou and LSU is not great, but like playing two P4 opponents the last two games of the year that have talent like that. Not most of these teams aren't doing that.
Yeah.
Near the end of the year. Obviously, Michigan having to play Ohio State or whatever.
Well, the team in front of Oklahoma is doing that. And
Oregon.
I know we're talking about all the scenarios and like 10-2, Oregon being left out. Oregon takes care of USC, and then they go on the road and they win the border war and they beat Washington. It wouldn't shock me one bit to see them jump Ole Miss.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll jump Texas Tech, obviously, with the Big 12 championship, title game, but they could get high as 6, and they could get, the higher seed you get, better first round matchup, and then the better second round matchup, right? You face that 3 seed instead of the 2 seed. So
I think it right now we've pretty much established, right, unless something crazy happens, that the ACC is going to get that 11 seed, right?
Yeah,
based off where the rankings, whether we agree, disagree, whatever, based off where the rankings are, that's probably what's going to happen.
Let's throw this in, man. Like Georgia Tech beats Pitt, they win the AC, or they get to the ACC championship game. But before they go to the ACC championship game, they beat Georgia, and they hop up into the top 10.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
Right?
Good point. It's a good point.
There's all kinds of scenarios still out there. Top 5, again, red wedding style, right? So many red teams on the board. Texas Tech up to 5, Georgia up to 4, A&M 3, Indiana 2, Ohio State 1. Indiana's got a bye week this week. Texas Tech's got a bye week. A lot of teams are on byes this week. Ole Miss has got a bye week. Honestly, it's a little bit of a slower. It's my favorite week of the year where there's only, you look on the schedule and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see all these games on Saturday. And you look and there's 4 SEC matchups. And you're like, wait a second, there's more teams in that conference. I know there is. Who are they all playing?
Here we go.
Who are they all playing? Oh, well, they're on bye. Ole Miss is on a bye. I get that. Yeah, sure. Oh, wait. Mercer, Eastern Illinois, Stanford, Charlotte. At least, I'll give credit to Georgia. They're playing a P4 team, so good job playing, Biff Poggy-less Charlotte.
Not P4, no. They're playing a FBS opponent.
FBS, whatever.
They're playing an FBS opponent. Question: do you think if, let's see, Georgia Tech's not beating UGA in this universe, maybe they're not universe, at H. Canes 1005, did you watch the Georgia Tech Georgia game last year on Thanksgiving weekend that happened in Athens that went to overtime? I'm just asking, did you watch that game? So saying that they have no chance, I disagree.
Yeah.
Do I sit here and think right now today that Georgia Tech's going to beat Georgia? No, I do not. But that is just like somebody else earlier said that there is no way Ohio State is going to lose to Michigan.
Yeah.
That's happened like 5 years in a row now, whatever it is in a row. Last year, they were 21.5 point dogs and
Yeah.
won that game. So, yeah, it could definitely happen in rivalry weekend. Absolutely. There's still tons of chaos that can take place over these next 2 weeks.
All right. Let's pull this up here. Just the full rankings. Yeah, I mean, we just kind of went over it. We'll pull up the bracket here in a second, but just for everyone to get a look at the well, H Canes, he said he did watch that. He watched that game. You know, I don't know how many overtimes it was, but it was a lot. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame it's in Mercedes Benz and not Bobby Dodd, but
You ever been to Bobby Dodd?
I have not been to Bobby Dodd.
Okay. I know you've been to some cool stadiums and whatnot and traveled around, seen some good games. I didn't know if you'd ever been there. I've been there for a couple of games. I like that stadium, man. I can't believe they're not playing there.
Yeah.
At H Canes 1005 said he'll take that. We don't know what the line. I'm sure there's hypothetical lines out there yet. I'm sure there's hypothetical lines.
Early lines for next week will drop tomorrow, I believe, usually on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I know that. I'm not a degenerate. So, but here's your
Love it.
top 25.
You got our bracket by any chance,
Yeah.
or am I putting you on the spot with that?
Well, let's pull up. Let's see here.
What our rankings, our bracket would be is if we were on the committee.
If we were on the committee,
as of today, this would be what our bracket is. And this is not what we think is going to end up being. This is what, if we were on the committee today, what we would have the bracket as of today.
so this is our bracket. We got the matchups right. We just didn't get the seeding right, and one is taking place in Eugene and not Tuscaloosa. So,
Yep.
Andrew on Twitter says A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Bama. If Oklahoma doesn't lose to LSU, Mizzou, or Bama to Auburn, SEC lock for 5 teams. A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Bama. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
If they all went out, yeah.
Yeah, if those teams, if Oklahoma and Bama went out, yes, they will have 5 teams, and there's still a chance they could have 5 anyway.
Yeah.
I still think and this has nothing to do with brand or anything like that. I think that I think that I think Vandy could be left out, man, if they go 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point, that's the case.
Poor little Vandy.
Yep. At this point, that's the case. All right.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
here's once again, if you just joined, this is what our bracket would be based off. We do our own ATB top 12 at the end of every week, going into the new week, and based off our own top 12 that we do. This is what we would have it if we were on the committee and we were releasing a playoff bracket today, as of today, not what we projected to be weeks from now. This is what we would have the top 12 as today, and this would be the bracket.
Yep, and it's pretty much spot on with theirs, except a couple different locations. And obviously, we think Georgia Tech is going to take care of the ACC. I mean, I'm going to stick with that preseason prediction there. And then first 4 out, I mean, we were pretty spot on with that too.
Yep.
Utah, BYU, USC, and Vandy kind of just knocking on the door, waiting for. I mean, I can't see Notre Dame losing. If Alabama loses to Auburn, one of those teams could scoop up there. Oregon could drop out.
Yep.
Of course, the people Oregon are losing to, obviously USC would jump in.
Yep. I don't see anybody there in the top 4 at this point dropping out. Don't see Ole Miss dropping out at this point. Like if they lose their rivalry game in the Egg Bowl, they're still going to be in.
Yeah, Daniel wanted to see our picks. I mean, we give weekly picks on our weekly preview show that comes out on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, sometime in that time frame, and we don't really do like a weekly prediction for the playoff here. But shoot, Ohio State versus one of those teams in the Rose Bowl would be Ohio State, Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Whew.
Or Ohio State, or either way.
Yeah, we saw that last year. I just want Ohio State, Alabama, like 2 of those just storied programs would be fun. Georgia, Texas Tech would be really fun. I believe A&M would get the spot in the Sugar Bowl there. A&M Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl.
2 SEC teams down there in the Big Easy in the Sugar Bowl would be sick.
Indiana versus Oklahoma or Notre Dame down in the Orange Bowl.
I'll take Notre Dame in that matchup.
Over Oklahoma?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yep.
then Indiana Notre Dame rematch from last year.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like that. I mean, yeah, if we did a prediction of the playoffs, honestly, man, like I just looking at the bracket, and honestly, you know what? Well, let's pull up their actual bracket. Um,
The
just so
committee's
we,
actual bracket.
yeah, the committee's actual bracket.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, you know, I'll look at it here briefly, but just looking at it,
Dude, this is
it's
random. This is random, but like no teams. Miami in football, Kansas and hoops are like the only teams that make Adidas look good.
yeah.
I
Um,
just saw the Jayhawks dunking over here on the little iPad I've got pulled up right here, and I'm like, man, this is some nice unis.
yeah. No, I mean, I grew up a Notre Dame fan. Lance
I
is
am not. I am not, Daniel.
Lance is an Alabama grad. I live here in Indiana, so you know, I follow the Irish pretty closely. But yeah, I grew up watching them all my life. We try to be as unbiased as possible here on the pod. But looking at this, I mean, Indy or Notre Dame versus Oklahoma there, and then playing Ohio State, like that's tough. That's tough for Notre Dame right there. That's one of the few teams I was talking to my cousin today. Like you look at all these teams in this bracket, and if you're a Notre Dame fan, Ohio State's obviously going to strike the most fear into you. But in any other team, you'd probably be like, you know, I think we got a shot. But I don't know. Just look at the bracket and like watching what I've seen of the team so far. Like it'd be tough not to pick Ohio State because they've just looked like the most complete team and they just have not been tested yet. So maybe that changes in a couple weeks when we watch them play Michigan.
Dude, Georgia versus Ohio State in a semifinal would be nasty.
Georgia, Ohio State. I mean, again, Georgia, Texas Tech there.
That'd be a fun
A&M, Ole
game. But
Miss,
the Georgia,
Indiana versus Oregon again, or Alabama. Yeah. So
I just again that on that far left there, those matchups in the first round would be a blast to see. That would be almost about as good of a scenario as you could get round one, as far as just a pure fan of the sport. And then the possibilities of the matchups in round two are all very solid.
yeah, give me Texas Tech over Tulane by 50.
Yeah, probably, man. Probably so.
I'd take Texas Tech.
I can't imagine a home game in Lubbock, dude, in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That'd be so sick.
give me Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Oregon. Give me Georgia over Texas Tech, Ohio State. Um, give me A&M. It depends on who's coaching for Ole Miss at this point, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll take Indiana to beat Oregon a second time. I'll take the top 4 seeds. Now it'll probably bounce out that way now that they've reseeded it and actually done a good job of not doing automatic buys. Um, in that scenario, Georgia Ohio State's probably the national championship game in the semifinals in my mind.
I agree. I agree. I think the
And now
national champ.
maybe Texas A&M lays it on Ole Miss and Indiana lays it on whoever they play, and like you're thinking, okay, maybe it's not like just kind of what we've seen now, and what we've seen the past couple weeks, how we've seen Georgia come on here in the last month. Ohio State's really looking strong. You know, I don't know how you could not say that would be probably for the title there.
I agree with you as far as Notre Dame is concerned. This would be the worst scenario for them. This would be the worst scenario for them. And honestly, I think it'd be tough for the Buckeyes too. That's a tough scenario for Ohio State, man. I've told you my thoughts. And again, I'm not a Notre Dame fan. And the last few weeks, when you watch teams play again with your own eyes, you can hate Notre Dame all you want or whatever you think about them, all you want. They look like one of the best teams in college football right now.
Yeah.
And they played for the national championship last year. All the stuff that they brought back this year, the additions that they made to, they look like one of the better teams in the sport. And them playing Ohio State, that'd be a tough draw for the Buckeyes having to draw them. I think they would even probably admit that, having to draw them right out of the gate like that.
Yeah, I think
Coming
my
in
next
from that.
step for this, obviously, if they go to 16 teams or they stay at 12, I would love to see them like reseed after the first round.
There's a lot like in college basketball. There's been for years. People have said that after the first 2 rounds, when they go to the Sweet 16, that they should reseed in March Madness. But like we've never seen it. I don't disagree with what you're saying on that. I think it would be great to do that, but I just don't think they ever will.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever do it.
Yeah.
Got anything else you
Um,
want to add, brother?
yeah, our guys finally came through here, and we finally get a little first time we're doing this on live, we got a little comparison from the BCS, the good old BCS. Can't get away from it.
Hey, BCS know-hows. All right.
BCS, no, yeah. So lockstep on the first four. They got Texas Tech, or they got Texas Tech down at 7. So
Well,
again,
with the strength of schedule, like
yeah,
again, we have
it's
Texas
bad.
Tech at 5, but like I understand that with the Texas Tech strength of schedule.
Yeah, I think. I mean, again, when you talk about their strength of schedule, I've done the numbers. I've crunched the numbers to what I believe is like accurate, and I've seen like strength of record and all that, and it's still got Notre Dame ahead of Alabama, which is very surprising to me for computers.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. BYU, Utah, Vandy's higher. Vandy's more respected by the computers. Um, Miami is not. So committee is, doing the work. They're pulling Miami along. The committee is the human element there is pulling Miami along.
So yeah, Miami 15. I don't know, man. Like I'm fine with Miami being at 13. I'm using the Andy and Ari things. I just listened to them like earlier today from what they're talking about, and they were like, Andy said, when you look at Miami's like resume, tell me with Vandy and Utah, like what wins do they have that impress you more than what Miami has? And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
tough to say. Yeah, it's kind of tough to say that
yeah.
uh, on that. But yeah, like I said, I have no problem with Miami being at 13 where they have them. I would so the BCS has them at 15.
What about
Okay.
Utah? Why is Utah ahead of Miami then?
Why is Utah ahead of Miami here in the BCS or in the
The
committee
committee.
ranking? I'm guessing it's got everything to do, man, with because like they are using those like predictive like metrics now instead of using like the little power rating stuff and using the all of the metrics that they have with the offensive and defensive, like, you know, I saw something the other day where like Utah is one of the top teams in the country as far as the points that they average per game with the points they're also allowing per game, like those combinations together. And all the metrics that they use show that Utah is one of the better teams in the country, but they still have their
Mhm.
2 losses. They played the 2 best teams they've played, they lost to both of them.
Yeah,
So that's tough. I
yeah.
don't I don't have anything else to add, man. Again, I don't think there's really anything egregious. Like I said, I we both agreed. This is funny because it's our 2 squads that the 9 and 10 were should have been flipped.
Yeah,
But uh, at this point, I didn't think there was any. I didn't see anything else on there that I was like, well, that's just awful.
yeah,
That's stupid. So
yeah.
overall, so far, man, the committee's doing a better job than what they've done the last few years, in my opinion,
Yep.
up to this point.
Um, yeah, so we'll call it quits there. Everybody on X, thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody on YouTube, such our guy Daniel H. Canes.
Daniel, I agree. Utah has been looking dominant, bro. We're big
Yep,
fans of Kyle Whittingham and the Utes here, so
yep.
definitely agree with you, man.
Yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, for our preview show. We're going to definitely talk a lot about USC Oregon. We're going to try to talk a little bubble watch on that episode. Talk about some games that could impact the bubble, the CFP bubble. We'll be back on the weekend to recap the weekend. See if any. I mean, slow weekend. We got USC Oregon as the big game, and then you're kind of looking at the schedule like, oh man, there's not much else. It's a sleepy Saturday, a sleepy November Saturday too. Those are the craziest, man.
Yeah,
Um,
usually that's when chaos happens.
yeah, for sure.
At H Canes 1005. Appreciate you too, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the kind words. And you're always welcome to throw any comments on any of the videos or anything that we have, man. We're always down to talk ball. Appreciate you watching, brother.
Yeah, man. So we'll be back the weekend to recap. We will not be doing a live show next Tuesday. Our boy Lance
Got
here
family
is
stuff.
Lance is going to be out of town for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing some family stuff for Thanksgiving. I mean, we'll watch it along. We may pop on, do a live thing on TikTok or do, a green screen or something like that. We'll put on our socials. Good plug for our socials: Instagram, TikTok, X, all that. We'll put this episode out on, obviously it's on YouTube. We'll put it out on Apple and Spotify tomorrow. Just kind of little people who weren't able to tune in live, they can hear what our reaction was and what our takes were on the Week 13 edition of the CFP rankings. So if you don't have anything, I don't have anything. For Tyler Noe and Lance Barton, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys next time.